Minecraft. A game of relaxation, friendship, creativity and cooperation. Until it comes to us, that is. Now, you may have noticed that I've only been making gaming videos as of late. Don't worry, there is more of both history and gaming to come. But today is something different. A gaming history video. So without further ado, here is the story of Snakes in Orlando. Fox plays Zombie, Game Medusa, and I join the world, and each go our separate ways. Although soon me and Zombie join forces to hopefully survive a mining incursion. And fail repeatedly. But with this begins an alliance. But on the other half of the world, Fox Plays begins his own base in the Amazon. This is the end of day one, and the foundations have already been laid. And for about a week, we simply gathered resources, and the factions grew. On the second day, Destructor and Username joined the server. Destructor was then hired by the newly founded Amazon Corporation. Can we get copywritten for that? Anyway, he's hired to mine out the quarry at the newly named Amazon HQ. Username becomes a neutral agent, a recluse whose whereabouts still aren't known. With this, the first week goes by. A new world was rising, a world formed by ideology and of profit. In the North Amazon, their capitalist ideals pushing their panda populations to the limits. In the South, the socialists of Sun Mountain lived in their mountain haven, waiting for the first move. During this time of advancement and exploration, the two opposing sides joined as one in the hunt for an ancient city. Zombie, with sheer willpower, about 30 iron pickaxes, and around 3,000 blocks, finally found it, the ancient city. But along with it came its protector. Almost everyone was there, and almost everyone went in, but only one came out. The warden was unkillable, and the only survivor survived out of sheer fear and ability to leave the world. Until we could extract him after a daring rescue. Fox Plays emerged with only the horror stories to tell. After this, not much happened. This was the early days, and Detective and King joined the world, quickly joining forces with the Sun Mountain compound. But the early days between the nations were peaceful. A mutual distrust, of course, between the two formed as bases were built and power rose. The capitalists formed Amazon in the northern jungles, with an outpost called Detroit in the mangroves, and Cap Etal Azam in the desert. The socialists having one base and a secretive weapons program? That wasn't really weapons. Tragedy strikes. Unbeknownst to the people of Sun Mountain, the planned cooperative base of Cap Etal Azam, where we were to house the villager traders and shopping districts, was attacked. The Amazons who had been working on the villager farmer claimed the attack was orchestrated by the socialists, and with this, the prank wars begin. With the destruction of Cap Etal Azam, and with the blame pinned on the Sun Mountain compound, it was all out war. But first, let me introduce you a new character, Piggy Siren. Piggy Siren arrives in the server, and little does he know, he has just been made the tool for the first strike of this war. While touring the compound, in a debate on which side to choose, Fox Plays and Game Medusa strip every single strip of spruce wood in Zombie's house. And, in retaliation, I mole-holed my way into the Amazon HQ and filled Fox Plays' house with gravel. This conflict only escalates, as when I returned, I found my house entirely filled with boats, and my frame rate at a solid 4 frames per second. The pranks had escalated so much that Zombie decided every bit of air in Hawkinator's house should be a source block of water. But as threats of griefing were made, we realized it had escalated too far. We agreed on a joint effort to destroy Detroit, the now abandoned outpost of the Amazon, which was utterly annihilated. We thought peace had been restored. We should not have been so sure. During this time of unity, we decided it was time to go to the end. After a brief skirmish with the Ender Dragon, where the only casualties was that of friendly fire, we thought it was fine. But the roots of doubt that this supposed mistake made were deep, and we later found Piggy Siren's house destroyed, burned to the ground. The investigation begins. At the very scene of the crime, there is a sign with the culprit's name written all over it. Game Medusa. The criminal had signed his own death warrant. But why would Game Medusa, a loyal Amazonian, burn down another of his own people's house? Something was wrong. This didn't add up, and the only connection would be the aforementioned friendly fire earlier. But that and the evidence of the sign was enough for revenge. Fox Plays destroyed Game Medusa's base. He tore down Capital Azam to the ground, leaving nothing. Fox Plays didn't know at the time, but he had been misled. It was an act of revenge that was unjustly taken. An act he had committed to cover up another crime. For as this was occurring, another movement, only known as Shenanarchy, a movement that had sprouted since the first prank war, that consisted of rogue agents from all factions joined in a secretive organization, hell-bent on sowing anarchy throughout the server. Shenanarchy was in full swing after the Battle of the End. Shenanarchy members tore down Piggy Siren's humble abode and used the previous day's controversy to cover up their attack, pinning the blame on Game Medusa. As a result, his base had been destroyed, and with it, his loyalty to Amazon. This had left Amazon with a debt that they simply cannot repay, and with even more members such as Destructor abandoning their cause, what will become of Orlando? Will Amazon survive? Will it be succeeded by another? And what of the shadowy organization of Shenanarchy? How will the SSM survive and protect themselves from the Shenanarchists? More is to come in the next season of Snakes in Orlando.